last lecture we have seen the different hormones which are secreted by pars distalis region of the adenohypophysis. So from that adenohypophysis, pars intermedia is one region which is secreting only one hormone that will be seen in this chapter, and then the hormones secreted by neurohypophysis. So first we have to see the hormones of pars intermedia of adenohypophysis. Only one hormone is secreted from pars intermedia, that is MSH, melanocyte stimulating hormone. Melanocyte stimulating hormone, as the name is here, melanocytes are stimulated by this hormone. What are the melanocytes? These melanocytes are present in our skin, and the melanocytes are secreting a substance which is called as a melanin, and that melanin which is present in our skin is responsible for the color of our skin, means very dark, very faint, or we can see black, fair, very fair. So here this MSH stimulates the dispersion of melanin granules in melanocyte, and it is responsible for skin pigmentation. म्हणजे आपल्या स्किनचा जो रंग आहे तो रंग कशामुळे असतो तर आपल्या स्किनमध्ये मेलॅनोसाइट्स असतात, आणि these melanocytes are secreting melanin granules, and for the secretion of melanin granules this MSH stimulates the melanocyte for the dispersion of melanin granules in this melanocyte. म्हणजे किती प्रमाणामध्ये हे मेलॅनिन ग्रॅन्युल पसरले पाहिजेत आपल्या स्किनच्या सेलमध्ये हे इथं बघितलं जातं, आणि त्याच्यानुसार स्किन पिगमेंटेशन, स्किन कलर हा आपल्याला झालेला बघायला मिळतो. याचे काही डिसऑर्डर्स नाही आहेत. इफ हाय सिक्रेशन ऑफ MSH, हाय मेलॅनिन पिगमेंटेशन, डार्क कलर इज देअर. इफ लो मेलॅनिन पिगमेंटेशन, व्हेरी फेअर कलर इज देअर. म्हणजे रंग काळा आणि गोरा हा कशामुळे असतो तर मेलॅनिनच्या पर्सेंटेजमुळे आपल्याला झालेला बघायला मिळतो. सो हिअर द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, hormones of pars nervosa of the neurohypophysis. न्यूरोहायपोफायसिस रिजन मध्ये जो pars nervosa पार्ट आहे त्याच्यामधून सिक्रेट केले जाणारे हार्मोन इथं दोन दिलेले आहेत. ADH, अँटी डायुरेटिक हार्मोन, which is also called as a vasopressin, and second hormone it is called as a oxytocin or birth hormone. First of all we have to see what is the role of ADH. So here ADH, antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin, there are different functions of this ADH or vasopressin. This ADH, the information about ADH we have already studied in our excretion chapter, the regulation of the permeability of the DCT of the nephron, and for water reabsorption the permeability of DCT is increased when the concentration of water is decreased in our body, and this secretion is suppressed when water level is high. So here this ADH is responsible for increasing permeability of distal convoluted tubulin nephron. For water reabsorption the permeability of the DCT of nephron is increased due to this ADH. Then absorption of water from ultrafiltrate and regulates water balance of the body. Due to the increase in permeability of DCT, the water reabsorption takes place from the ultrafiltrate, and which is regulating the water balance in our body fluid. जे आपल्या शरीरामध्ये पाण्याची पातळी कमी झाली तर काय केलं जातं, ADH सिक्रेट केला जातो. That ADH is acted on DCT, permeability of DCT is increases, water reabsorption increases. If ADH is decreases, water reabsorption decreases. Very simple. So this is the first role. Then second role of this ADH, this ADH is responsible for constriction of arterioles. Means you have seen the structure of glomerulus, afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole, and we have already seen there is difference between the diameters of afferent and efferent arteriole. Afferent is having high diameter, efferent having low diameter. So here the arterioles are constricted, means the diameter is becoming small. So constriction of arterioles for what? To increase the blood pressure in kidney. Suppose the GFR, glomerular filtrate rate, is decreased. So to increase the GFR there should be increase in blood pressure, and for increasing blood pressure there will be there will takes place the constriction of arterioles, and therefore this ADH is also responsible for constriction of arteriole, which facilitate the ultrafiltration process. So it is called as a vasopressin. Vaso means vessel, blood vessel, and pressin means pressed. Suppose this is the original diameter, it is getting pressed, so it is called as a vasopressin. So this is the first hormone which is secreted by this neurohypophysis. Now disorders of this ADH, if suppose the hyper secretion occurs of this ADH, what will it affect, or if hyposecretion occurs, what will it affect? So here, if hypersecretion occurs, it shows antidiuresis. Means what? Suppose if hypersecretion of ADH increased, there is more reabsorption of water takes place, and therefore, here ADH is more secreted. So here is less urine formation and water retention in the body. So water is more reabsorbed. Hence urine formed is very less. Water reabsorption increased in body, water retention takes place, and urine formed very less. This condition is called as antidiuresis if hypersecretion occurs. Suppose ADH is secreted below the normal range, that is hyposecreted. What will it affect? The hyposecretion, it leads to diabetes insipidus, because due to less secretion of ADH, there is no water reabsorption takes place, and therefore very large urine, very dilute urine is formed in that particular person, and that person feels thirsty because water is not retaining in the body. The water is lost through urine. Water is not reabsorbed by kidney. बघा इथं एडीएचचं सिक्रेशन कमी झाल्यामुळे काय होणार आहे, वॉटरचं रिॲब्सॉर्प्शन होणार नाही, वॉटर बॉडीमध्ये राहणार नाही, वॉटर युरिनमधून बाहेर टाकलं जाईल. दॅट कंडिशन इज कॉल्ड एज diabetes insipidus, and due to more water loss from urine, it is also called as polydipsia, increase the thirst. That person feels very thirsty. त्या व्यक्तीला सारखी तहान लागलेली असणार आहे, त्याला सतत पाणी प्यावंसं वाटणार आहे. That condition is called as polydipsia. More urine is formed, therefore it is called as polyuria, and very dilute urine is formed, so it is called as diuresis. So if hyposecretion occurs, the conditions are diabetes insipidus, polyuria, diuresis, or polydipsia. And if hypersecretion occurs, it is called as antidiuresis. Very low urine is formed, water retention in the body takes place. Okay, so this is the first hormone. Then second hormone, it is oxytocin, which is called as a birth hormone. You have to remember this, that this hormone is secreted again only in the female body. It is not secreted in male body. फक्त female body मध्ये secret केले जातं. This hormone is particularly called as a birth hormone because it is responsible for birth of baby. It is secreted during the delivery of the baby or during the parturition in the female body. This secreted in female large amount during childbirth or parturition. What are the functions? Here we can see. The first function, contraction of uterine myometrium during the parturition. ज्या वेळेला डिलिव्हरी किंवा पार्च्युरेशनचा पिरियड आलेला असतो त्यावेळेला त्या फिमेल बॉडीमध्ये आपल्याला लेबर पेन्स म्हणजे पोटात वेदना व्हायला सुरुवात होतात, पोटात कळ्या यायला सुरुवात होतात. म्हणजेच काय होतं त्यावेळेला, सो हिअर कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन ऑफ युटेराइन मायोमेट्रियम. युटेराइन मायोमेट्रियम म्हणजे युटेरसच्या आतमधली लेअर आहे. युटेरस म्हणजे गर्भाशय. गर्भाशयाच्या आतमध्ये जो लेअर असतो मायोमेट्रियम, अँड दिस मायोमेट्रियम इज गेटिंग कॉन्ट्रॅक्टेड. आकुंचन प्रसरण पावण्याची प्रोसेस तिथे स्टार्ट होते. अँड फॉर दॅट युटेराइन कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन दिस ऑक्सिटोसिन हार्मोन इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल. दिस इज द फर्स्ट रोल ऑफ दिस ऑक्सिटोसिन. सेकंड रोल, इजेक्शन ऑफ मिल्क फ्रॉम मॅमरी ग्लँड. आफ्टर डिलिव्हरी, आफ्टर पार्च्युरेशन, when baby gets born, that baby want to feed on mother milk, and for that feeding the milk should be ejected from the mammary gland. Milk is already produced in mammary gland with the help of which hormone? Lactogenic hormone. During the pregnancy period, during that 9-month pregnancy period, milk is already produced by the effect of lactogenic hormone, but that milk should be ejected out from the mammary gland. And for that, this oxytocin hormone is playing a role for ejection of milk from mammary gland. This is the second most important function. And third, it helps in fertilization by powerful contraction of the uterine musculature to drive the sperms towards the fallopian tube. After sexual intercourse, the sperms are getting introduced into the female genital tract, and after entry of sperm, the sperm should be taken up to the ovum, which is present in the fallopian tube. तर हे सगळं स्ट्रक्चर तुम्हाला आता लक्षात येणार नाही, कारण आपण हा चॅप्टर नंतर बघणार आहे, ह्युमन रिप्रोडक्शन. त्यावेळेला तुम्हाला जो फॅलोपियन ट्यूबचं स्ट्रक्चर आहे ते समजेल. सो द रोल ऑफ दिस हार्मोन इज ड्युरिंग फर्टिलायझेशन फॉर युटेराइन कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन टू ड्राईव्ह द स्पर्म्स अप टू द फॅलोपियन ट्यूब. हे याचं तिसरं फंक्शन आपल्याला सांगता येईल. सो दिस ऑक्सिटोसिन और बर्थ हार्मोन इट इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर फर्स्ट the birth of baby, so it is responsible for uterine contraction, second ejection of milk from mammary gland, and for the fertilization process. So here we have completed the different types of hormones which are secreted by pituitary gland. One difference is remaining there. The hormones which are secreted by adenohypophysis means first 5 hormones: growth hormone, second TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, prolactin and gonadotrophic hormone, and 6 is MSH from pars intermedia. These 6 hormones are secreted by itself adenohypophysis, but the hormones just we have seen neurohypophysis hormones too, that is ADH or vasopressin and oxytocin. These hormones are not secreted by neurohypophysis. You have to remember this. These 2 hormones are secreted by hypothalamus, which is present above the pituitary gland. And from hypothalamus, these hormones are carried and stored into the neurohypophysis region, that is pars nervosa. And from pars nervosa, they are getting released only. They are not secreted. You have to remember the difference of these hormone secretion. The hormones are secreted in adenohypophysis, but the hormones are not secreted by neurohypophysis. Okay, so this is the first point we have completed. Now we have to see the relationship between the pituitary gland and its relationship with the hypothalamus, which is very much important for the NEET exam. So here the hormones of pituitary gland are originating in the hypothalamic neurons, pass through the axons and released from their nerve endings. These hormones reach the pituitary gland through a portal circulatory system, regulates the functions of anterior pituitary. The posterior pituitary is under the direct neural regulation of the hypothalamus. Just we have seen the point, that is the neurohypophysis, that is posterior lobe of the pituitary gland is direct control under the hypothalamus. But the anterior lobe, adenohypophysis, it is not under the direct control of hypothalamus. Here we can see the hormones which are released by hypothalamus are reaching the pituitary gland through hypophyseal portal system, and then these are regulating the functions of anterior pituitary. So this is the relationship. Here in diagram we can see this is the pituitary gland. We have seen in the last lecture the structure of pituitary gland. This is adenohypophysis and this is neurohypophysis. Anterior pituitary, posterior pituitary. Now you can see here this hypophyseal system. These are the different neurosecretory cells. Here also the neurosecretory cells. You can see here the hypothalamus. These are neurosecretory cells. The hormones oxytocin and ADH are directly secreted by hypothalamus. They are getting stored in this posterior pituitary, and these hormones are directly released from this posterior pituitary. They are ADH, which is action showing in the kidney, and second hormone oxytocin, which is showing action in the uterus, that is in female body. And all these are the functions of anterior pituitary gland hormones. Here we can see the hormones which are secreted by hypothalamus are actioning on the anterior pituitary gland and through hypophyseal system, and from this hypophyseal system these hormones are getting into this anterior pituitary, and then this anterior pituitary is secreting 5 types of hormone. First hormone here we can see, which is responsible for growth of tissues, that is here bone and muscle. Then second role we have seen the TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Then third role we have seen adrenocorticotropic hormone, here adrenal cortex is given, and fourth role prolactin, the diagram is not given, and fifth is gonadotropic hormone, that is ovaries and testes. Here you can see ovaries, prolactin, here you can see mammary glands. So here first hormone, that is growth hormone GTH, then second hormone thyroid stimulating hormone TSH, ACTH on adrenal cortex, prolactin on mammary gland, and gonadotropic hormone testes and ovaries. So this is the relationship between pituitary gland and hypothalamus. Anterior pituitary is not under the direct control of hypothalamus, but it is depending on the hypophyseal portal system, and posterior pituitary gland is the direct control of hypothalamus. The hormones which are released by posterior pituitary are secreted by hypothalamus, but the hormones which are secreted by anterior pituitary, that is secreted by itself, it is not secreted by hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is secreting only inhibiting hormones and stimulating hormones, that we have seen in the last few lectures. The hypothalamus is secreting only stimulating hormone and inhibiting hormone, which are functioning for the secretion of these particular hormones that we have seen in today's lecture. So here is the relationship between the pituitary gland and hypothalamus. So here the most important part, that is pituitary gland, is finished. Now from next lectures we have to see particularly remaining endocrine glands. Till then, thank you.